Hello and welcome back to the New Order. You might be hearing some new music. Decided to download the music mod. And honestly, why didn't anyone tell me it was this good? I know, like a dozen people were like, you should get this music mod. It's got non-copyrighted music and it's not as jarring as the vanilla Hoi4 music. And finally the backlog is over and I can actually add it. Anyways, I'm trying to limit the exertion of my voice so I can maybe record more videos a day, so that might be why I'm sounding a little bit overly chill. I've also I've heard you as you're saying please read the events. I'm going to try to read most of them. I'm going to try to read the ones that seem important, but a lot of them are written in a style that I'm not a very big fan of. They're written kind of like a novel, and not in the sense that it's like they're written with dialogue and with descriptions of what characters are doing and stuff, and I'm not a big fan of spending a minute reading about how Hermann Göring is straightening his tie, really. Like there's something to be said about, you know, the like brevity being the soul of wit and all that. Like you should, in my opinion, be able to tell the story without having this, like, you know, screen spanning block of text that has a lot of, in my opinion, superfluous information. But I'll try to make an effort to read what I can. So we were gonna do this one because I want to have the Panzers, if that's, you know, if that's even a thing. It doesn't say anything about it specifically doing that, but who knows how the mechanics of this mod work, because mechanics in every mod work differently. Oh yeah, no, sorry, Waffen FSS, because that one explicitly does say we're gonna have 8, and then actually maybe I'll not do the tank one then, because it doesn't explicitly say we're gonna have 8, so maybe it's not even worth it, you know? How much infantry equipment do we have? Oh, either way it's gonna cost 5 legitimacy, and I mean we do have the most legitimacy out of the other boys except for Bormann. A lot of people have been asking me to play Bormann. I'm doing Göring right now just because I've been told not many people have played him and it's a good trial run. I might play Bormann later, but I think my next playthrough is going to be the United States of America, because apparently they have a lot of interesting politics going on, and I like that. If you couldn't tell. I've, you know, if you read my Twitter, you know I like politics. Oh, excuse me. Missing equipment, production, yeah. Look for opportunities. The possibilities would just look hard enough. Maybe I'll try that, because we have political power now. Let's see. Protests reach new heights. Okay, so this one just sort of forces an event. Interesting. Student protests have long plagued the Reich. Intermittent rallies and campus marches are not unheard of and have been held in small numbers ever since the NSDAP came into power. However, protests have become much more frequent and intense after Hitler announced his successor. In major cities all across the Reich, German students have held rallies and marches across university campuses, with some migrating into the streets. Sit-ins have effectively shut down most campuses, and students have taken it upon themselves to block off government and army buildings. Many of these larger gatherings are flat out refusing to disperse. I need to turn out this music. Oh my god. Allies Peace 1. So some of this music is from, it's all from like different video games and stuff. Yeah. Like World in Conflict and stuff, I think. DEFCON as well. Made a video on that as well on the channel. Many of the larger gatherings are flat out refusing to disperse, and students at many of the sit-ins refuse to budge. A large crowd of over oh my god, that spanned me out completely. A large crowd of over 200 people even blocked off an SS barracks. It was a miracle that no one died. We need to do something about these student protests now before the situation spirals out of our hands. One way or another, we need to take action. We can deploy the troops and wait the protesters out, which will increase Bormann's legitimacy. We can increase Speer's legitimacy, or we can increase Göring's legitimacy, or we can increase Heydrich's legitimacy. Well, I mean, the game's telling me to do one of these, though I think the results might be, you know, judging by history and how crackdowns on student protests have gone. Don't know if that one's gonna go so well. I mean, if you're the government, the one, the obvious one, went rather well, I suppose. But the Kent State one, for example, in the United States during the Cold War, didn't go so well. In that, I mean, people got shot, and it just intensified protests. It didn't actually, like, it didn't have the intended effect at all. And that might be a, would definitely be one of the results of our actions here. What's going on over here? Is that like a limited war or something? It looks like kind of like the DMZ icons, but it's got yellow stuff and a red in between them, which I don't think I've ever seen. Oh, it disappeared. Yeah, it's combat. It looks like it's got to be like some sort of limited battle or something, maybe. Like they can only fight across those areas, maybe. Yeah, it's a whole bunch of them. Like border skirmishes, border conflicts. Governorato del... I'm still... still this garbage in here. What's going on? Government of... Yeah. Has halted the assault from Turkey in a border... Yeah, it's border skirmish in the aftermath of bombing of the Malta Conference. Oh boy. Italy wins the Italo-Turkish War. And that has resulted in some Italian Empire stuff there. And all this stuff. For years, the border disputes between Turkey and Italy, this kind of event I want to read, have been a major cause of disagreements between the two allies. The high tensions between the two Mediterranean countries peaked after the collapse of the Triumvirate, leaving no obstacle before a war. Turkish troops had finally invaded the Italian Middle East. Italy did not stand idle for against the Turkish aggression, and a small-scale war between the two former allies broke out. After the Turkish war machine ran out of steam, the front stalled and Turkey got bogged down in a stalemate they could not break. Gaining the upper hand in the war, Italy proposed a peace treaty with the terms of handing over the Damascus region to Italy and Mosul to Iraq, terms which may have been very reluctantly accepted by the Turkish government. Peace once more rules the Middle East. Now, peace in the Middle East, huh? Yeah. I don't know, dude. Somehow this thing here, these borders here, don't make me very hopeful for peace. Especially something headed by the Italians. No. That does not instill me with a lot of hope. Approach the Waffen is done. Very good, sehr gut. Let's go with... Can't do train all day, every day. It's like One Punch Man regime. Man, Göring's gonna get into shape, dude. I'm sorry. Smile for the cameras, I think. I want to see what this one is, even though it sounds like it could be really bad. Roar on the radio. We want this one, but this gives us plus 10 legitimacy for us to spend on stuff, which is cool. Let's do one bad photo first, and then do the other one after. The tank one, I mean, leading into the Hermann Goering gets in shape. Hermann Goering CrossFit regiments. Or regiment, or whatever you want to call it. I don't know. Can you tell that I know nothing about exercise? I hate this name. I hate this name with a burning passion. So Theodoric is, I believe, a German king, an old like German king from German history, but or like he might even be like, I mean, probably pre-German, obviously, but like in what became Germany, like a Saxon king or something. Probably, but also Theodoricshafen. Theodoricshafen. I don't know. It's a weird one to pronounce. This one isn't that bad. Katharinenstadt. Paulusburg. They just like renamed all the yeah, they renamed all the like Frankfurt on the Dnieper. They renamed all the like towns to like stuff from German history instead of like, you know, Leningrad and all that. Like let's see what Leningrad's called. Oh, it's Paulusburg. And then yeah, that is Leningrad, right? With the Volga there. Yeah, with town on either side, yeah. And then Kiev is just with a W now. Chernigov. This one is weird. Stahlhorn. Like Steelhorn or Stahlhorn. Oh, I found where Goering goes after he's done with his exercise regimen. And there's why is my brain so stupid? I'm like, oh, there's Bernie Sanders. Why is my brain so stupid today? Small off the cameras. Oh boy, we've got a lot of stuff. So this is an event that makes me think of that scene in The Death of Stalin where is it Malenkov is trying to get his photo taken, or like his painting done or whatever. Let's try one with a far-off look. Goering instructed the young photographer. He looked dramatically to the side, brow furrowed in stern thought. So it's well written, all this, by the way. That wasn't my criticism. The camera clicked multiple times. Though that could have been better. He was wearing his personalized dove grey uniform, complete with medals. He turned back to the photographer. Bernard, was it? Ah, Berthold. My apologies. Show me yesterday's photograph, the one with the blue Luftwaffe uniform. Berthold brought the printed photo over. I want that one destroyed. This is going in the newspapers, remember? I must look my best. Yep, that's that scene in Death of Stalin with Malenkov asking for the... Like, he's like, I like that one, and I want that one destroyed. Cherno arrived in the doorway with a small document tucked under his arm. Goering beckoned him over and examined the papers. The field marshal had drafted a plan to violently suppress the student protests that had broken out since his appointment as successor. Berthold was prowling around the room, experimenting with different angles and muttering to himself. The young photographer had probably been a student himself not so long ago. Goering gave a heavy sigh. He handed the document back and nodded his approval. Oh well, the students had been growing more and more unruly, and it was time that they were taught a lesson. Reichsmarschall Goering, the photographer whispered in a shaking voice, drawing Goering from his thoughts. I took a photograph of your plan, the one ordering Heer troops to use brutal force against the peaceful student protests. I will leak this photo unless you cancel this order immediately. Is that understood? What? I don't think this is how it works. Can't he just, like, shoot him on the spot? Surely this would have to... Okay, maybe it's not that well written. Surely this would have to happen way later. They need some, like, you know... 6 years later, Goering stated that the young man stared at the young man in shock, but said nothing. He simply rose to his feet, thanked him for his time, and walked over to the waiting Cherno. The officer noted his glum expression and looked over at Berthold with suspicion. How come this photographer has such power over Goering, the successor to Hitler? Why can't he just eliminate him, or make sure that the young man knows how unhappy I am? Yeah, Ferdinand, shoot this man. Here is a photograph, Reichsmarschall, Cherno said smugly, sliding the brown envelope across the dinner table. Goering looked up from his hearty meal with a chuckle. Hearty meal, of course, because it's Goering, shaking the contents of the envelope onto the table. No need to worry yourself, Willem. Going grinned as he inspected the photo. The image was of Goering sitting down in a chair and inspecting a document. One of the papers was hanging loosely in full view of the cameras, detailing much of Sörner's plan against the student protests. Oh, this is why I don't read all these things. I end up just... my brain starts leaking out my ear. We'll get back to matters of policy in a second. I regret to inform you that our good friend Bertold took a nasty fall from his apartment window. Oh, that's unfortunate. Sörner shook his head in mock grief. He was quite high up, I'm afraid. He must have been taking photos of the sky. Goering roared with laughter, slamming the table with his hand. He wiped a tear from his eye and turned to Stuttgart. You haven't got a lighter, have you? He plucked a lighter from his advisor's palm and lit it underneath the image with glee. The bright yellow flames flicked across the photograph, contorting the image as it folded and blackened. Goering watched on with satisfaction. The flames reflected in his pale blue eyes. Curiosity has killed the young photographer. Let's see. Let's go with Tor, the Panzer Fleet. And once again, we are directed to the Lovecraftian hellscape that is the tech tree. This eldritch horror of non-Euclidean tech tiers. It's so complex. I need to, like... yeah, there's a lot to learn. Especially with all this stuff. Hello, yes, do you like percentage increases to your to your existing stuff? We got that in droves. But yeah, that you know, whole blackmail situation felt a little bit contrived. Not that it couldn't happen, it just, I felt like the the taking of the photograph and then like the blackmail thing should have been written a little bit better. Like maybe the guy takes a photo and then later on gets a copy of, or makes a copy of it, and then he sends one copy to Goering and is like, hello, my man, stop your plans or this shit gets leaked. Also, it's kind of weird. Why would leaking the plan be problematic if he's going to put it into action anyways? I guess the students could, like, use it to, you know, like, avoid falling into the trap if there is one, for example. So that's a possibility. So one of my issues with custom music mods, they tend to not be mixed and mastered very well. So what happens is that, oh, like, in order to work with each other, what happens is that I'll end up becoming a slave to the volume slider, as happened with many of my early Kaiserreich playthroughs before I had the ability to monetize my videos, where I used the Kaiserreich music mods. And you know, before I had to worry about potentially getting my channel deleted for stealing content. Who's got the most? We don't have the most legitimacy. I want to have the most legitimacy, though. More, yeah, so I'm seeing that, like, more decisions will become available as Hitler's, you know, state worsens. And I'm not really sure which I should be focusing on. I'm gonna wait to click this stuff too much until the video where I start talking way more about that comes out. Hopefully people will be saying, like, you know, you should do this or you shouldn't do that. That's what people do on YouTube, in the YouTube comment section often, right? Yeah, because right now I have one video that isn't out yet as of recording this video. I think it's coming out on the day I'm recording this video, actually, which could have waited, but I got stuff to do. Mattei assumes control of the Gulf. The Italian victory in the Italo-Turkish War has reinforced the hold that the Italian Empire holds over the Near East. As Turkey's expansionist dreams have been quashed, Italy has reaffirmed herself as the hegemonic power of the Arab world. In the wake of the victory, Enrico Mattei, the chairman of ENI, has successfully pushed for his nomination as governor of the Italian territories in the Persian Gulf. Mattei's nomination as governor further strengthens the hold that ENI, the Italian state-owned oil company, has over the Persian Gulf. The company was instrumental in developing the region's infrastructure and oil industry and has a long history of productive collaboration with the ruling classes of the Arab world, from the monarchies of the Arabian Peninsula to the Gulf emirs and even Qasim's regime in Iraq. Now more than ever, ENI is a keystone of the Italian domination of the Middle East, and with Mattei in charge in the Persian Gulf, the company will be able to expand its influence more than ever. Oil is the lifeblood of empire, of modern empire. It is actually like oil is like a trap, kind of. What happens is that when you get over reliant on oil, oil being like this very like, I'm trying to remember the exact stuff so I don't say anything extremely ignorant, but it's well, I mean, I can say one thing that I don't think a lot of people will call me out on, but oil empire is bad. But you know, more nuanced and detailed, the reason oil empire is so problematic has partially to do with how long it takes for the market to adjust, I believe, and how like oh, what's a word for it? Like, not fluctuating. There's a word for a situation where the market easily fluctuates, but oh my god, you have situations where the market can easily like shift to one way, and then you can't really address it because the production line is so long and complex. Like, stuff gets pulled out of here, shipped maybe around here or through the Suez Canal and stuff, and there's a lot of things you have to do that, you know, sometimes take years to alter how things are being done. And by that point, the damage is done. Like, it's so inflexible is the word I'm looking for. It's an inflexible like resource. You can't really do much to address issues once they arise, and they can arise for a number of reasons. Someone could just, you know, pump a lot of oil, looking at you, Saudi Arabia and Russia, and suddenly the oil market just collapses, and a lot of countries that rely on oil are in deep trouble. So you need to artificially like limit the amount of oil being pumped out, because there's way more oil than the market needs. So anyone can completely destroy the market. It's a very weird and messed up resource. America refuses to leave. Wait. What was this one about? I forgot. Escalate. Our diplomatic crisis will escalate. United States of America gets event. Germany threatens to blockade Africa. Oh, wait. Leave Africa? What are they doing in Africa? We must remain level-headed for the dead children of Japan. Yeah, we must remain level-headed. We need to, like, be careful about brinkmanship in the Cold War, because, I mean, it could all spiral out of control and go to shit. I wonder what the Cuban Missile Crisis of this universe is. Oh. Well, it's not going to be Cuba, at least, because we're probably not going to get along with this guy. The Presidium of the Supreme Soviet has defeated the Buryat Autonomous Soviet Socialist Republic in a war. So, where's the Presidium of the Supreme Soviet? So, Buryat, where was that? Goddamn, there's so many nations out here. The Presidium of the Supreme Soviet, I'm guessing, is a whatchamacallit, authoritarian socialist, right? People's Revolutionary Council. That's not it. There are so many socialists, or like, not socialists, but like communist, and socialist, I guess, groups out here. Free aviators, wow. Yevdokia, Bershanskaya, like pilots who have founded their own little commune. American spy plane intercepted. Oh, it's the U-2 crisis. Yep, it is. Straight up. Yesterday's Luftwaffe units based in... This happened in real life. Norway was deeply involved in it. Because we, you know... we allowed a U-2 plane to emergency land. Or at least we had one scandal with a U-2 plane where they emergency landed in Norway, I believe. And that wasn't allowed. We weren't allowed to, like... Or we weren't meant to have... American or house American spy planes. But we did, and that caused a lot of issues between the Soviet Union and NATO. Anyways, radar detected it approaching from the Ofen Iceland base. HO-229 fighters were scrambled as all interceptors were undergoing routine maintenance. En route to interception, all interceptors were undergoing routine maintenance in the entirety of Germany. What are you doing? What? En route to interception, 3 of the 4 aircraft suffered engine difficulties and safely returned to base. That's German jet engines for you. Like German World War II or Nazi jet engines, rather. The final aircraft, piloted by hero of the Reich Oberst Hermann Graf, entered missile range and fired. The American pilot, terrified of being shot down, immediately fled with his tail between his legs. Herr Graf, an ace pilot with over 300 confirmed kills. Oh my god. In the second world, that's a meme, come on. I have over 300 confirmed kills, something guerrilla warfare, has proven once again the superiority of the Aryan race of the Yankee mongrels. Don't even think about coming back. You two almost shut down over England. Okay. Kind of want to know what happened here. With, I'm guessing it was an invasion of England, or the United Kingdom. Though Scotland seems to have been allowed to be independent, and Wales as well. Train all day, every day. Hermann Goering gets into shape. Roar on the radio, then. Let's have a look at what that actually said. Now, deceased Reich's Minister of Public Enlightenment and Propaganda, Dr. Joseph Goebbels, once stated that the radio was the greatest propaganda asset ever devised, encouraging the industry's growth at the outset of our regime. Although Goebbels is unfortunately no longer with us, we shall take a page from his book and use methods of radio to solidify our influence over the public. We will roar on the radio till every single German is united behind our agenda of warfare, glory, and national redemption. Well, with the agenda of warfare, glory, and national redemption, I'm going to call this episode here and say thank you so much for watching. And never mind, the Swiss Seismological Service has issued a press release with worrying news. Last night, their HQ in Zurich noted a seismological event somewhere in the Burgundian Jura that lasted 4 seconds and reached 4.6 on the Richter scale. Due to the lack of aftershocks, they concluded that this is not natural activity but likely a man-made incident. Several Swiss radiologists have also reported a spike in airborne radiation equivalent to a mild nuclear meltdown, or an atomic air blast. Governments worldwide have arrived at one conclusion. The Burgundians have successfully tested a nuclear device, twice as strong as the one dropped on Pearl Harbor in 1945. With the shadow state remaining tight-lipped as ever, the news will likely never be confirmed. Still, it seems that 1962 will be remembered as a dark point in history, the year Burgundy ascended to the ranks of the nuclear powers. So, Bodenstadt Burgund is kind of like a North Korea hermit state, I feel like. Just like even more cursed, maybe? Because this motherfucker is in charge. Anyways, that was the end of the episode, so thank you so much for watching, and once again, if you like this video, that apparently helps out a great deal, so thank you to those that do, and if you need any information if you want to get in touch. There are links in the description down below. That's it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.